You ever wonder what it takes to properly schedule an event in order to reserve a space and also request support teams? Well, stay tuned, we'll check that out. At Mercy Hill, as staff members, we have access to Trellis. Trellis is a tool that allows for us to kind of stay connected, and so we're going to take a quick look at that right now. So as you can see here on the screen, I've navigated to our Trellis, and even though my view may not provide a lot of information initially, I'm going to try to give you an idea of how you can request an event, which would include things like production or worship. So initially at the top of Trellis, we actually have the space request available at the top. Or if you were to scroll down a little bit more, we also have an event space request here. So first I'm going to select the one at the top. It'll take us to the same place as the other. And once you're in this form, you can fill out information. So we're going to go ahead and fill this guy out. Phone event name. We're just going to call this a test event. Description: Keith, please disregard this event for training. All right, is this event off-site or virtual? We're going to say it's neither because it's on-site. We'll pick a date for this event, and we're going to choose something in the future, so we'll come all the way out here to like June 15th. The setup time for this event, we'll say it's at 8 a.m. The start time of the event will be at 8:15, and the end time being 9:15. So we're looking at a 1-hour event with 15 minutes on both ends as far as setup and teardown time. The resources that we need, we're going to add those in here now. Actually, I'm sorry, recurrence rules. It is only one time, but we could make this event recur. The location, I'm going to choose Student Center because that's where I am right now for this training. And we can give public notes, and again, this is this to be deleted, just for information. If there was a public link, let's say it was like a missions event, and on the missions page they have a link, we could add that link in here. The category for the event, we want to say it's either church-wide, college, community groups, and Espanol, so on and so forth, staff only. I'm going to say it's just staff. It just labels it on our calendar a specific way based off what we've chosen here. And we're going to say it's going to involve 40 people, give or take. All right. Let's go ahead and validate our little code here. And then below my picture here, there's the next button, so we'll select that. Okay, this takes us to a little bit of information about our events. We can double check that we've got it all right. And then we have an opportunity to select some spaces. And so in this case, we've got the worship space or the Titus building, and you can expand these to see more details related to that. And you're only going to reserve the space that you actually need. So I'm going to say I want that worship space only. We can do requests for resources like our tables. Don't need any tables for this event, but you would want to mark those here if you needed them. We can indicate whether there's childcare needed, a production team, or worship team. In a case like this, we're going to say there's a production team need and a worship team need. And as soon as I selected that, you could see this banner popped up. This event has incomplete forms, and it opened up additional sections. So as we scroll down, we're going to see those additional sections. So since it's a worship space, there's no form required for that, but below under services, there are forms needed for worship and production. So if we select the form, it's going to take us to a place where we can fill that out. We need to list all the things that are needed. So sound, video, lights, other, let's see, other would be like a large portable TV, for example. Explain, this event needs a full production team. Live stream needed. That's really important, whether it's needed or not. We can't always offer it. Or any other special needs like creative lighting needed. This helps with preparations. Okay, I'm going to save that form, and we put a little check mark next to it to show that we've got that in there. For the worship team form, we're going to go ahead and take a look again here. We need a worship leader and an acoustic band, but in this case we don't need a full band. I'm just going to make that up. But let's say for the full band we want him playing a harp, For the acoustic set, he's going to play harp and piano. Should be fun. Explanation, 2 songs, you pick. The band can choose. We'll say save and then submit the event. Submit event is down below where my picture is. Let me show you down here. When you submit that event, it will go through proper channels as far as getting information to the right people. The first person that needs it is Keith. As facilities director, he's going to need to know that the space is going to be used for something. The next person, since we have selected a production team need, is going to be myself. I'll get an email that has the specifics of what you've requested, and then also the worship team will be receiving a notice as well because we've selected some information for them. If you've added enough detail, there may not be a need for additional conversation. Although most of the time when you've requested an event like this, the goal of the request is to get the conversation rolling. So in a case like this where production was requested to have a live stream, I'm going to immediately have several other questions, such as, is your version of live stream considering like it might be a Zoom call or Teams call so there can be interaction in both directions? Is it more of like a webinar where it's just broadcast out for everyone to see and then whoever happens to tune in, tunes in? Is it something where it needs to be repeated on demand later, or does it need to remain private, unlisted because of sensitive information? I'm going to be asking those questions, and that's why we start with this form, because it triggers that process. In relation to the worship team, since a harp was requested for an instrument, they're obviously going to need to go and find someone who plays a harp if that is something that's absolutely necessary for this particular event. I would be curious to see how that event goes down. But hopefully this information was helpful as far as creating an event request. These requests are designed specifically for like our large meeting spaces. That'd be like kid spaces, worship spaces, lobbies for each of the campuses, things like that. And as you find a need for a request, you should find those locations listed in there pretty easily. Please use these requests anytime you have an event, and don't hesitate to include production, worship, and so on, because it's most important for us to be able to meet the need. And if we don't know what the need is, or we don't fully understand the need, then we certainly will miss out, and we don't want that at all. Our goal is to support the ministry as the needs exist, so feel free to request those when you can. All right, that's all. Subscribe, check back, whatever. Happy to have you join our training, and hopefully this was beneficial to you.